So here I sit under the sacred tree, as time has come to close out my first playthrough of Ark on YouTube. In this one, I played as I normally would and used the custom Dino levels mod to force all creatures to spawn at their maximum level. What did I learn? At max difficulty, Ark is almost easy. Well, Ark as a whole, that is. Certain aspects of the game did become more challenging, and by that I mean more tedious and time consuming. Ark is a survival gathering game after all. I don't feel like Ark has ever been really difficult, but that's what I wanted to test. Can Ark be a difficult game if all the spawns are forced to be maxed out? The short answer is no. I don't think max difficulty is what it says it is. In my opinion, the setting should be replaced with a level slider which would allow server admins to control the lower and upper bounds of spawns for their servers. It is not a setting for difficulty scaling. That is better achieved by tweaking wild dino stats, XP gains, harvesting rates, and some other more uninteresting configuration changes that take more time than they are worth. According to the wiki, this setting only presents a perceived difficulty, and what that means to me is to get to a truly difficult state, you might have to turn this setting off and adjust some of the override values. Based on information collected way before I did this playthrough, the lower the level of creature, the closer the strength gap is between wild and tame creatures, which would then increase the difficulty of survival. But in the world of Ark, a level 30 creature just isn't as exciting as a level 150 or even to stretch to overhaul mods 300 and higher. So while my takeaways are not awe-inspiring, this playthrough does make me wonder if unchecking max difficulty will make that much of a difference in the overall gameplay. I'm thinking probably not. But before we say farewell to the tames that brought me this far, I'd like to cover the key points of this challenge. Early game is more difficult because there is no a level 55 will do just fine for now mentality. It's max level or nothing, and that first tame is a challenge to get. Either manually collecting narco berries and getting meat to spoil, or using clubs and slingshots to knock out a max level creature is just a time consuming task. I wasn't lucky enough to get a moss chops that wanted something more than giant bee honey, so I struggled. I collected all the artifacts except from extinction because caves offered the largest challenge since they expose a large number of creatures in a confined space, and all of them are at max level. There were some exceptions to this which caused my challenge to have flaws, but the idea was still there. Caves have their challenges, but it is easy enough to cheese some of the caves to avoid any creature encounters. Level doesn't really matter if you're not in a fight. Preparation became more important. Not having enough resources or not having certain items made an unprepared adventure that much more difficult. But I don't think that's because of the max level creatures. I think that's more of the ways of the art. And maybe it just made preparations for those adventures more time consuming. So preparation became key for the survival. Coming to creature encounters, I found that packs of creatures, or any creature that gains a buff from being in groups, were dangerously difficult to deal with. Sure, their strength dwindles as their numbers decrease, but that initial meeting really wears down a tame and almost requires that every mount you ride has to have the imprinting bonus if you're going anywhere dangerous. A surprise group of wolves or hyenas or even a pack of aloes can ruin a day. Early on, I was dropped a few times in a row by just a small group of microraptors. I lost a few raptors along the way, and that kinda taught me this lesson that pack animals are just not to be trusted unless you're fully prepared. And finally, the task I did not undertake. Collecting all the alpha drops to take on a boss. In theory, I did not need to do this because of all the previous points sorta led to this. It wouldn't be impossible to collect Tuso tentacles from a max level squid. Alpha Moses and Reaper Kings would have also posed a proper threat, but these encounters would take a good amount of preparation and an imprinted tame. They might also warrant a good amount of patience, as those fights, and any alpha fight, would become a war of attrition. I had to deal with an Alpha Carno early on. Well, I didn't have to deal with it. I did it anyway because it was near my base, and I lost a lot. I was not prepared, and that just kind of happened. I lost to a level 150 Alpha Carno because preparation was key, and I did not pay attention to that challenge point. For me and how I play games, I try not to optimize the fun out of games, because at that point, it's no longer a game, it becomes a chore. And it's a chore that you may begin to resent over time. So, I'd like to close with this suggestion. Don't hope to force everything to be the ideal level, even out of convenience. The true challenge and adventure in Ark is when you're looking for that ideal tame. This challenge has left me with some perspective. While the activity of looking for an ideal creature to tame can be boring and can lead to some wasted hours in a game where you're not really progressing, it can be the most fun part of this game, because Lord knows that hitting trees and rocks for hours is the complete opposite of fun. So take your adventures, find your tames, and cull the rest of the Ark, because those low-level creatures suck and they're boring to look at. But finding that perfect high-level creature is what this is all about. Now it's time to say a final farewell to the tames that got us to the finish line in this maxed playthrough. Starting with Steve. Now, I didn't bring the turtle over here, or the crappy raptor, but I did bring Steve. Steve was our first flyer, and allowed us to progress through the island so that we could actually move about and do things, and it was the best utility tame that a survivor can have on the Ark. And Argentavis, I think, is a survivor's best friend. And Steve, even though I have been harsh to him, was no different. Next up was the king of Scorched Earth. And this is Jackwagon. Jackwagon was probably featured in a few episodes. This is the kangaroo I attempted to knock out a max level wyvern with off the back of it. And Jackwagon did not die after I did. So, Jackwagon deserves a small place of honor. And what do we say to Jackwagon? Good shit, Jackwagon. Well done. And then there's Chunk. What do you say about Chunk? Other than his parents are a disappointment. I got the worst roll on melee ever in my time playing Ark with the parents of Chunk. I cannot believe I got screwed over. I have completely even forgotten what the level was, but it was so disappointing. But I really like the Fasilsuchus, and Chunk is just, I don't know, I like him. It's a good tame. Yeah, keep looking at me, Dick. Your parents suck, by the way. And then there's Highlighter. We used, did we use Steve? I don't think I used Steve. I think I used a different Argentavis to grab it and grab the egg. We got the hell out of there. In there, right? So, Highlighter. Beautiful green poison wyvern. That just kind of helped us do a bunch of loot runs on Scorched Earth, because in my opinion, Scorched Earth is like one of the best places to collect loot. Finally, we come to the extinction tames. Well, there's Pain, who has a really neat trick, and he allowed me to fast travel all around this place getting resources and structures from A to B, just because if you throw everything into the Armadago and you fast travel in your bed, he follows you in companion mode, and that was really great. The problem is taming these bastards when it was early and before Wildcard fixed them, well, was a pain, and hence your name. Your name is what you are. Pain in my ass. And then everyone's favorite tame is a Thyla, and this one did not get named because it was sort of a testing Thyla. Combined stats, and it wasn't really used for anything other than some teeth and muscle here on Extinction. And then my proper passion project, Starburst. I started breeding all those owls and got all my stats together, got some mutations, and then we got Starburst, which is a beautifully, horribly ugly, beautiful, horrible, just, this is the best. If I can try to recreate this another playthrough, I will, but Starburst was just a pretty owl. 2 shades of orange, some green, purple. It just doesn't work, but then it does. Yeah, you know you're awesome. Then we get to Extinction. Yeelings and rock drakes are completely opposite tames, even though they do pretty similar things. But with my confession I made, that Yeelings are probably one of my favorite aberration tames. I don't know why. They make getting rock drakes super simple, and rock drakes make the red cave, if you, if you can find it, because that was my case, they make the red zone cave super easy. And hey, look, you have eyes. You didn't have eyes when you were a baby. So there's Purple Storm and Orange Crush, and those two, with the help of some baryonyx, helped us get through aberration caves and get a bunch of, well, get the 3 artifacts that we needed to close off aberration and come back here. And last but not least, star of the show, Turkey. Turkey has been to every map except aberration, because I was afraid the game was going to crash and I was going to lose everything, because I've been transferring in single player, and that can be a little sketchy. But Turkey helped so much, because when I first got to Extinction, I was struggling really hard until a neat, clean little nest right down the way over there appeared and allowed me to tame up a Gigantoraptor that gave us not only some fighting ability, but just regular mobility, and just changed the way that Extinction worked for us. And so Turkey is the star of the show. And so Turkey will forever have a small place of honor here on the channel. Isn't that right? And then you have Offspring over there. That's not Turkey. This is Turkey. Not Turkey. Turkey. Yep, there we go. So that is the maxed playthrough. Those were my thoughts and my conclusion. If you found yourself liking this series, then I want to say thank you for spending your time and showing support to the series on the channel. It is very much appreciated. And if you found yourself liking this one, then please go ahead and do the YouTube thing. It will massively help the channel. And that is it. Alright, Turkey, let's get this send-off on the way. Bring me that horizon. All right, turkey, where are you going? That's not the horizon I was talking about. Turkey. Turkey, where are you going? Turkey, we're not supposed to cross the bright lights. Turkey. Turkey, we can't cross those. Turkey, that's the wrong horizon. Turkey, you need to stop. Turkey. Turkey. I'm telling you, this isn't gonna work well for us. Oh boy. Well, I guess you can't teach a turkey.